Hi there, and welcome to the Project Corner. I created this Project Accelerator solution, and in this video, I'll take you through the steps how to reproduce. Make sure to subscribe for updates on Project for the Web and even some nice Power BI visuals. And also click on the like button if you found this video helpful. In one of the recent Project for the Web update videos, I mentioned the Project Accelerator, and I asked if there was an interest in a closer look into the Project Accelerator. And what do you know? A whopping 2 people asked for this video. 2 people being a lot for the size of the current channel. So I'm happy to oblige. Alright, so here we are at our first stop to install the Project Accelerator. And as you can see from the top level, we have a couple of things that we need to cross before we're there. This step is quite easy actually, because what we need to do is we need to grab those 2 solutions that we have. We need to grab the 2 solutions from GitHub. So navigating to GitHub and going to find the Project Accelerator. And of course, there's going to be a link in the show notes. And there's also going to be a link for this one, the Peter Kesnel's solution. What you do is you go and navigate here and you click on the download zip. Now I already have the 2 zip files here, so I don't need to download them again. But be minded that on the Project Accelerator page there's actually a lot of information. Also information that we're going to use during this video. So our next step is going to look at the prerequisites. We need to have an environment with Project for the Web in it. We're going to create that actually. We need to have admin permissions on that environment, and we have to have the rights to do Power Automate flows using the Common Data Service connector, and we need a local copy of the accelerator. So let's have a look at the prerequisites, because we need to have an admin user. So we're going to have, in my demo environment, we're going to have the mod administrator, who's the administrator of the whole solution and the whole environment actually. And let's see if that user has the correct licenses. Now I'm not going to do a full-blown licensing discussion today because basically that will take forever. We do want to have the Power BI Pro license activated, a Power Apps per user plan activated, as well as a Project P5 license. So with these 3, I am sure you're getting far within building this solution yourself. So because we're going to actually deploy this solution on a separate environment and not the default. Remember me talking about the default environments in previous videos where the default, it just doesn't cut it for actual production work, right? So there is this link, and I'm going to put that in the show notes as well, which says something about deploying project, and actually deploying project to a other environment that is not your project default, or which is not your default environment. There's a post on Yammer telling us that we can now use new named instances in project trial licenses. And because I'm using a demo environment, this is very important for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to share this information with you. So Alexander and the team, big thumbs up. So let's have a look at the Power Platform Admin Center. In here, I created a trial environment which has a database attached to it. And I called this the Project Accelerator. Typical, right? Next thing that you need to do, and that is also noted down in the deploy project documentation, is go into the Dynamics 365 apps. Scroll a little bit to the bottom, and here we have our Microsoft Project Service Core solution. Well, app actually. So we need to enable this, well, not enable this, we need to install this. So it's the only one that has Microsoft Project in it as a publisher. So that's also a way to find the correct app to enable. So clicking on install and selecting an environment. Now I'm going to click on the Project Accelerator environment. And here I see that I have to agree to the terms of service. There was a little error message popping up and I was a little afraid that this wouldn't work. But let's see if we can move along. Clicking on install. Microsoft Project Service Core installed, started at. So now, I am not 100% sure how long this is going to take. So if you're doing this on your own machine, take a couple of cups of coffee and get back to this page after a while. So in the meantime, while this is still installing, I can navigate to my make.powerapps.com environment, and in the environment Project Accelerator, I can look at solutions. Now currently there is not much in here, and we're going to build this from the ground up. First thing that we can add is our Prerequisites solution, which is just a bunch of icons neatly stored so that it is easily referenced when you're changing things within the sitemap. So let's click on import and let's find that solution. So from the page where you downloaded your from the page where you downloaded those two zip files, open up the Power Apps main.zip. Click on open, click on next. So this isn't enough. What we actually need to do, we need to open up this zip file and we need to extract it. And from here we will find the Power PPM icons managed solution. So let's do that again. Let's click on cancel and click on import. Click on browse, go into Power Apps main and find that Power PPM icons. Click on next. So it will tell you that the publisher is Projectum, which is the organization both me and Prerequisites work for. And this is an icon package for Power PPM customers and partners, but it is also for everyone else because it is an open source solution now. It is highly entwined, obviously, with our own core product, which is called Power PPM, but I won't talk about that today. So click on import. And it tells us that it's currently importing that solution. So let's have another look at the Power Platform Admin Center and see how far along we are at installing that Project Service Core. So after looking way too long at the installing screen, it took nearly 20 minutes, we now have the Project Service Core installed on our environment. So next up is let's see how that Power PPM solution got installed. It imported successfully, which is good, and now it also shows up here. And if I click on it, it says that we can't edit the managed solution, which is obvious. But here you can see all the icons that we currently have in the solution, which is very nice. We even have a meeting table. Well, we're going to use that later, obviously. So the second solution, well, actually the most important solution that we're going to install is going to be the Project Accelerator. Now, learning from the previous engagement, we now know that we actually need to unzip this main folder. So let's do that right now. I'm going to click on extract to main, and here we have a couple of files. Now, I'm most interested currently at the releases, but you might also want to have a look at the README as well as a couple of other things in here. There is a known error that you might be interested in. Maybe we are interested in it. But let's look at the releases, and we're going to install that last release, that last version of the project for the Web Accelerator. Also notice that we have a Power BI template file, which we're also going to use. So this is the file that we're going to use. I'm going to copy this location, the file path. I'm going to click on import. I'm going to click on browse. I'm going to navigate to this page, and here I find that 1.7 version of the solution. Clicking on open, clicking on next. Here it tells me that Microsoft is the publisher. It is a managed solution, so I won't be able to directly influence this solution. Click on next, and it tells me that I want to have something to do with a Power Automate connection. So I'm going to make that connection, and I need to make a new connection. So clicking on new connection, and don't you just love that chrome green, very projecty, right? Let's click on create. This will build a new connection that is linked up to Power Automate, so that Power Automate can actually make a connection to the Dataverse, which is very useful because we're going to use that in our solution. I'm going to click on close here, and I'm going to click on refresh. And with that, it finds my admin user account, and I'm going to click on import. Currently importing solution, Project for the Web Accelerator. Very nice. And we'll have another wait here. And after roughly 2 minutes, we'll see that the solution was successfully imported. And here it is, the Project for the Web Accelerator. And its version is okay. So when Microsoft comes out with new versions of the Project Accelerator, head on over to that GitHub page and see if there's a later release than that version that we just installed. With new versions, you get bug fixes, maybe new features are added as well. There's always a good reason to upgrade a solution. All right, next step, let's have a look at our apps and see if it is actually installed. So here I see project. That's not what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the Project Accelerator. Well, maybe this is the Project Accelerator. So let's click on project here, and I'm just going to copy this first section here because I know that I need that for my Power PPM. I know that I need that for my Power BI installation in just a few moments. So here we go. This looks like the Project Accelerator because there isn't any data here, but there will be in just a few moments. So here we see project requests, I see programs, I see projects, I see resources, I see reports. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Settings, there's even a settings setting. So I have something about a default organizational unit. I'm a project manager, there's a team member. There's calendar templates, which is also very nice to have. And there's training. Oh. What is Dynamics Project Service Automation? Well, PSA is not the same as Project Accelerator. So Project Service Automation doesn't seem to be the correct fit as for the help file. So maybe we would love to change that into something better. Let's at least change that logo here to be that meetings section, be that meeting room. Okay, so just as an example, and of course we gotta have unicorns in the program and the project requests, just because we can. So let's navigate to our project apps, and let's click on project and click on edit. And in the edit file, you'll actually have a better understanding of what is included within the you actually get a better understanding of what's included within the Project Accelerator. So here we have the sitemap, which is basically the left navigation here. And we have a couple of entities, or tables as we now call them, that are associated with the Project Accelerator. So let's navigate to the sitemap. Let's make some changes here. I'll click on training and I'll click on the help center. And for the icon, I'm going to use the meeting table, which comes from that solution that we just installed that was shared by Peter Castanels. So let's click on publish and see if that actually pulls through. I'll just click on refresh, click on training, and here we have that meetings room. Very nice little icon there. So let's make a unicorn for the project request, and let's move on to Power BI reports. Projects, requests, and we're always looking for those unicorns, right? Here we have the icon unicorn, and you can find all the other icons by just clicking icon, and here you have the different options that were included within the Peter Castanels solution. The icon, well, I'm going to call it icon solution from now on. So what was it again? Unicorn. So here we go. This is now a unicorn. We're going to save that and we're going to publish that. And just in a few seconds, I will click on refresh. And here we have that beautiful little unicorn. That is just awesome. A very nice little icon, I would say. So Project Accelerator comes with a lot of content. Let's create a project request and let's see what's in here. So we have our first request. It's a new request. The priority is obviously critical or high. It is requested by me, and we have an executed sponsor, and this could be anyone in your organization. Let's see if we have a Cindy in our do we have a Dave? No. Well, let's just keep it for there. Let's just keep it there. So we have a project type, and this could be any of these values. So let's have it as internal readiness. We can have add a text, make more money, serve more people. Sounds like a good business case, if any. So strategic alignment, it is very much aligned. We have a strong item here for low cost. Any of these values can be changed, but you will need to create a unmanaged solution and alter the forms for these entities, for the project request, for the program, for the project. So it says that this is a locked value. So if I click on save now, it will actually tell me what my score is based on the values I filled in here. So for the budget, let's have a nice budget. And here it also tells us what our return on investment is. Funding source is internal, funding available, yes, sure. And if I click on save and close now, I will see that first request showing up here in the top layer. Now I can also see if there is any flows active on this system. And if not, we can actually create your own flow to help you push this first request to become an actual project. That's not going to be something for this video, but that is something to keep in mind for later. So the first request, we have that. Let's see if the home page changed. Yep, there is one request, and it has a priority high as well as a nice little budget field. So let's also create something of a program. The TPC 2.5K program, and we are going to have it as being active. Oh, let's make this clear. The TPC 2.5K subscribers program. Yes, something I'm looking forward to. If that ever happens, I would be so happy. Product development. Sure, sounds nice. Program type. Support. I love to support you guys. Program goals. Grow business. Yep. Oh, customer satisfaction. Makes more sense. So program start. We're going to start today. Program due. Let's say at the end of the year. I would love to have that 2.5K subscribers. And if you're not subscribed yet, this is your chance to help me out. I'm clicking save and close, but there's actually more to these programs. So let's click on edit again. And let's have a look at the finances, which has a number of values in here, as well as roll-up values, which is very nice because if a project is assigned to this program, it will actually roll up the data. So status, overall health, on check, at risk, on track, off track. Well, I'm actually feeling quite healthy, thank you for asking. Here you see all of our projects, and from here I'm also able to add a new project. It opens up the project tab, and it opens up the project tab, and it opens up with a blank slate. So first project, and here you see that it is already assigned to the program, the 2.5K subscribers program. So this is due to cloud computing. Love it. IT minded. Stage, well, it's in the plan stage. And there is an executive sponsor here. And I'm going to click on save. And as you can see, we're just scraping the surface here with the summary. There's also business case. There's also finances. There's also resources in here. There's also tasks. And tasks is interesting because this is actually the Microsoft project for the project for the web tasks that we're seeing here. And because we're setting this up for the first time, this might take a while. And it actually tells us that it's taken a long time to load. If it does not load, follow up the steps in the documentation on the address, yada, yada, yada. Let's come back to it later. We also have a risks section, and we can add a first risk. So we're diving from the program to the project, and from the project to a risk. Very nice how this is intertwined as a model-driven Power App. Risk, caps lock, risk number 1. On the first project, it is in the active state. It is in the category design, because we still need to have more unicorns. And it's due on my birthday. Hope some of you will send me a card or best wishes, but who knows. So what's going to be the impact? It's going to be huge. Needs to be in, impact. Oh, sure. This is going to be for our risk matrix, which I might build because, I love those risk matrices. Save and close. And that navigates us back to our first project. Exposure is clear. Cost exposure is clear. And due date. Very nice. We also have issues. We also have changes. And we have a status page, which tells us how we're doing. Everything seems to be on track. Let's put some things at risk. Active issues, active risks. And remember that I actually had a risk. Well, you might want to click on recalculate here, and it will show up that new risk that you just created. You can create a status report. Very nice. So we're going to create a status report. First report. Reporting due date today. Submitter, that's going to be me. and I'm going to submit it to me as well. And here is placements, more actions, and some comments. Now, from a Power BI perspective, you might want to pull this data into a nice report. From a manager's perspective, you might want to have a PowerPoint presentation based on the data pulled from the Project Accelerator. Now, Projectum has a solution that's called the Present It solution. It's a connector in Power Automate. I'm not going to dive too deep in it, but it is worth looking at. So let's click on Save and Close here, and we have our first project. Let's have one moment and see if we actually have some tasks in here. Almost ready. I love that. All right, so here we have a summary. We have a task 1, task 2, a milestone. And we're going to have the milestone with the 0 duration, obviously, 1 week, 2 weeks. And we're going to link them up, and we're going to make them a subtask of that summary. Great. We also have the board view, and we have the timeline that we know and love from Project for the Web. There is no link directly to that Project for the Web environment. So let's click on Project for the Web itself, and let's refresh this page. It might already tell us that there's a first project. Yes. That first project is now in the Project Accelerator environment. So it is within Project for the Web, but it is within a separate environment, which is called the Project Accelerator environment that I just created. Very nice, because if I click a new project and I click on second project, I'm going to click on a lot here. Task 1, duration 3 weeks. Cannot update details. Please try again. Yeah, sure. I should have waited, right? So here we go. I am the owner. And let's navigate back to Project Home. And here you see the difference. So the first project is created within an environment, which is a production environment. And the second one is created within the default environment, which is something completely different. Keep that in mind when you're looking at the source of the projects that you're working with. So let's head back to our environment. Let's head back to home and let's see what happened here. So there's more information visualized, and this will obviously grow into those beautiful reports that we see on the GitHub page with a lot more color associated to it. Heading back to the home dashboard, we obviously still have those reports. Now, I don't like this icon, so I'm going to change that for sure. Let's see if we have a nice icon for reports. Report icon, right? It doesn't start with icon, so I don't know if this is actually something that Peter created. But let's see if it is better than that little clipboard with that gear. Yeah, that makes more sense. It's a pie chart. People love pie charts, right? So heading over to Power BI, you need to make sure that you have a Power BI Pro license for the following thing that I'm going to do, because we're going to share that information. And sharing information is something that you will need to have at least a Pro or a Premium license for. So I have my workspaces, and I have 2 workspaces. I don't I know nothing about. So I'm going to create a new workspace, and it's going to be the Project Accelerator. Project Accelerator. Yeah, just the Project Accelerator will do fine. And we're obviously going to change that icon when we're doing this in production. I'm not going to do that now because I just want to speed this thing up. What we're going to do is we're going to open up Power BI. We're going to navigate to that project template that we have. We're going to navigate to the Power BI template that we have and make sure that we have the template files selected as well. So let's click on Open. And here we need to have that environment and that region. So let's select everything, and I hope that I still have it under my clipboard, and I seem to have that under my clipboard, so I'm good to go. Click on Load, and it will load the data that we have in our environment. It might ask you to sign in, which we're obviously going to do. Click on Connect once you're signed in, and let's just have this run for a few months. And here I see that the access to the resource is forbidden. Interesting. So I might want to make sure that my account actually has the right permissions within the tool. So I'm sorry to say that we didn't figure out how to solve those reports, and obviously there's going to be a follow-up in which I'm going to state what is going wrong with those reports. There's new features coming up for Project for the Web monthly, and I cover most of them in my channel. So make sure you don't miss out by visiting this playlist, or you might also like other content on the screen right now. As always, consider subscribing and clicking that like button. I'm aiming for that clean 2.5K subscribers at the end of the year, so you're helping me achieve that goal if you click on subscribe today.